Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? How to get to Sesame Street?
My name is Bill Martin. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I work in production, copywriting, and I'm a member of Short Story Thursdays.
I'm Michael Blaine from Brooklyn. I'm a member of the Short Story Thursday book club. I work in live music production. We do sound, staging, lighting for events and concerts all over the greater New York area.
Hi, I'm Kristen Dombeck. I'm a writer and I teach writing at Princeton University, and I'm a Tier 1 elite member of Short Story Thursdays.
My name is Diane. I'm a swimwear designer. I have my own line of swimwear. I'm also a bartender, and I'm a member of SST.
Hi, my name is Matthew Diabate, and I'm the secret leader of Short Story Thursdays. I'm just kidding. It's actually Jake Tomsky.
My name is Jacob Tomsky. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm the president and founder of Short Story Thursdays. It's a short story club. You get one email a week, one short story a week, all classic authors. We also have a nice community. We meet once a week in a bar here in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Very talented, very creative people get together. We read the stories, we talk, we have drinks, we don't talk. It's just about being around literature.
This is a way for people to meet new people who are interested in short stories, meet new writers. And so I think it's valuable, but it's unconventional, and it expands the idea of what a book club can be.
This thing will happen every week. Like, there's absolutely no chance that Jake Tomsky, the president, is not going to send that email at 7 o'clock. No matter what he's done the night before, no matter what mood he's in, there always will be that email. And will either piss me off or make me laugh or something.
Every morning on Thursday at 7 a.m., I send out an email to these members. They get a dispatch which explains the story, introduces it, news about the club, and then the attached PDF and doc for them to read at their home. They print it out, they can read it on their phone.
To read these stories usually takes me about 15 minutes to half an hour, which is good. I don't like putting a lot of time into reading. Sometimes I even lie and maybe pick a line out of the story that I say I liked, just so that he doesn't excommunicate me.
What I love about the stories is that they're sort of their own little jewel. You know, they're a few pages long and you can just read them whenever you've got just like 10 minutes of downtime.
What keeps me coming back to Short Story Thursdays is the stories themselves, along with the people that are there.
The best thing about this is that I get to read a story, hang out with a bunch of people I really like, and have an interesting conversation, all while sipping on a whiskey soda.
It just brings me back to days when I was actually, I felt like an intellectual and I could just read stories for pleasure.
I've really learned about the power of book clubs by starting this, because it really does motivate people to read in a brand new way, and it just injects literature in your life. I have a memoir coming out from Random House Doubleday. It's basically a tell-all about the hotel business. I worked in the hotel business my whole life. I was at the front desk when I started Short Story Thursdays. I started with a few bellmen there, and I was bored at work. So it kind of originated from that, but I've got this book coming out, basically all the secrets, tips and tricks, a memoir of my life from New Orleans to New York. I chose the form short stories because I myself hadn't read too many, and when I started it, I realized that this was something digestible that everyone could enjoy. So I started passing out short stories. All of a sudden, 4 or 5 people at that job that day had read the same short story. And that was sort of the genesis of the idea, literature that could be digested by people that don't normally think that they could have literature in their life. So that was it, and then I narrowed it down to 1 day a week, Short Story Thursdays, and we got paid on Thursday. So every week you get your paycheck and a short story. And that was the genesis, and grew from there.
And I walked into the bar on a random Thursday afternoon. Our friend Matthew bartends there, and there was this happening, Short Story Thursday happening, and yeah, I've been hooked since.
I showed up at South Fourth just randomly, and it worked out really well because everyone was super friendly, and I just loved that I could read and hang out around other people who are writers and like reading as well.
Recently I've been called a czar. I'm kind of the czar of SST. Iron fist. I run the club with an iron fist.
I mean, any guy that wants to be called a czar, it just seems kind of twisted to me, but yeah. I think he's a character study. You don't meet a lot like that one.
He's definitely a prototype.
Definitely.
It's a wonderful thing to run something completely on your own. You don't have to depend on anyone else. I pick the stories, I format the stories, I write the emails. On the back page of every story, it has a list of our Tier 1 members, Tier 2 members, elite members, failing members. I hand out demerits. If you don't read and I find out, you will be kicked out. And even though that sounds terrible, it's actually a good motivator, and there's nothing you could do to get me to change that.
I had no idea what I was getting into when I joined the group. Now I find myself reading once a week, and for fear of excommunication from the community.
There's the possibility of excommunication, of becoming a negligent or failing member, which is always kind of hanging over my head, and that works well for me in keeping me committed to an organization.
Because it's important that people are reading, and I think no matter how they react to it, if they're angry, if they're sad, I don't care, as long as they read the stories. That's the most important thing.
Besides the tongue lashing and a berating, he will blacklist you.
That was one of the things that surprised me most, is how they responded to the corporate checks and balances, and accusing them of not doing a good job and not focusing. I mean, these were the things that we complained about from our managers in a daily life, and here I was giving it to them about short stories, and it was hilarious. Everyone was tongue-in-cheek, but ended up being incredibly effective. Now I can see why, you run a job that way, because it actually keeps the workers in line.
By and large, most of the people on the reading list, even if they don't even show up to Short Story Thursdays, read the short story. And even if they don't talk about it, what Short Story Thursdays gives us is this space to come together and just be around each other.
Even if you don't talk about the story, you know that the people there, you have literature in common with them. And we've got weeks and months and months and months of short stories in common. So even if it doesn't come up, we have that base, and it makes for a very nice community feel. As always, thank you for reading. SST, cheers!
Yeah, I think he's ambitious. He's planning on taking Short Story Thursdays far, and I'm all for it.
Come one, come all. Short Story Thursdays. We're here every Thursday.
See what I was talking about? Thank you for joining us at Short Story Thursdays.